Hey guys, hope you're doing fantastic today. My name is Nazar. This is my wife, Olena. What we decided today is actually instead of just having a coffee and having a discussion about AI and automation, as we typically do over the weekend, we decided why don't we throw it out there? Maybe someone else would like to take a listen and find something insightful on it. Just a brief idea. I am coming from tech side. I have over 20 years of experience in different fields in IT, and obviously since 2022, 2023, the heavy focus was shifted from everything else to AI and automation.
And myself, I have many years in business operations, and since 2023, obviously we shifted to AI and automation. And Nazar, do you want to talk what we're going to discuss today?
Yeah, so just to lay off the agenda, nothing is scripted heavily, nothing is, heavy to dump information on you. It's more about we're gonna take few questions. I'll have few questions what happened recently. Olena has few questions what happened recently. We're gonna give our opinions, see how things are going from both perspectives, and what we're trying to put over here is from someone that is tech heavy and more of operation management standpoint person, and how those few years were more from not just a transition, but they were evolving from, hey, what this whole thing is, to a major pivot points. And we can see how non-technical and technical people are bridging the gap. The gap is becoming very small thanks to all the AI tools that we have. And that's pretty much the idea. I have few topics, Olena has few topics, and we're just gonna do bounce with our opinions on it. Also, what we're going to do is there will be some drops of frameworks and how-tos, how we build, coming up on a regular basis if you guys would like to check it out later on. Who wants to go first? One more quick thing, I'll throw it out there. I do have a tendency to go off rails pretty fast, so Olena will try to contain me, and we will take it from there.
Yeah, so I think we can get started with the bigger topic, like how AI has changed over the last few years. And I think, Nazar, it's good for you to get started. We have a few talking points here. I think you have them too, right?
Yeah.
First.
Yeah. Sorry for interrupting. As you go, I can go off rails fast. I do have few topics. One of those is actually specifically what you touched on, how AI changed. And I think lots of people still don't understand the technology. I wouldn't really say the technology itself, but the sheer speed that it moves. It is going in compounding effect, in geometrical, progression, whatever you want to call it, but it's not a typical linear that we see this after this after this is going to happen. And as an example, let's see, 2022, 2023, this is where we got ChatGPT 3.5, 3.0, and we were just chatting with these bots. When, let's say, now what we can see is 2026, early 2026, and we can see that automations through things like Make.com, N8N, Zapier, that were big thing in 2024, 2025 now are being put down, and they are on a back end because now agentic workflows are the next big thing, because you can do way more with them if you know how to program it. So just to show that this whole field is changing so rapid that you never know what's going to happen in few months, not like even half a year to a year. Like few months can bring some sort of new technology. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to actually dial down with amount of tools that 2025 brought, because there was always like every day some new tool pop up, and then just a reshuffle of the tool that I used.
Okay. Can I interrupt you for a second? I have a question. So let's say I'm a small to medium or a medium business owner. Why should I care about AI?
why should you care about AI? I would probably say the biggest word is velocity. Velocity, like the
Which is
amount
what?
of, which is what, like how the how strong the momentum you're gonna get with it. Like 2024, 2025, this is where we saw, like, chat bots installed, chat agents installed in websites. Now where we see chat agents actually doing the flows, doing the logic, what, regular people are typically doing. Then we have to be mindful that it's not that this that I have now AI and I'm vast, like I can compete with everyone. No, it's like the speed that AI can complete the tasks, and how you can guardrail it, that it will be completing them repetitively without any breaks. There is a small amount, but less chances of an error. And that momentum is unstoppable. If you have an influx, let's say you have a AI, let's just take as an example. You have like a reception, right? Person that intakes the calls, emails, and stuff like this. If the person is on the phone, she or he cannot take the email. If there is an email that is already been actioned, another email cannot be actioned. With an AI, you work in parallel. Phones coming in, agent answers. Emails coming in, agent answers. One more phone call comes in, another agent answers. You pretty much scale, and your momentum picks up so fast that you're becoming unstoppable with what you're doing. Does it eliminate people completely? No, it doesn't. You still have to have human in the loop, but you're playing completely different game.
Gotcha. Okay, but a lot of people still think that it's very expensive to implement AI, that they need to hire a huge team to implement AI, and they need to spend a lot of time to learn how to use AI. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, so if we're gonna go and we will use a post-type, let's say, tone, at the end of the day, AI is the IT technology. It's just it's a fact. That's what it is. Nowadays, if you're gonna go and check the businesses from a regular standpoint, oh, this is not working, the email's not working, the printer's not working, that like we cannot sign in here, there is an issue, that it's still a problem that you have to have someone that will take care of it. AI is exactly the same thing. You will need to have someone that will look after it because it's constantly evolving. The big problem right now, if the person, let's say a business owner, didn't do anything for 2023 and up and just getting started, he or she, they will not know capabilities of AI. So by the time they're trying to figure it out, should I implement the chatbot, or people are using ChatGPT without even knowing how to prompt it? Like, people use ChatGPT without knowing that there are other models, without even going further what they can do. And how to even prompt it, they don't know. But now there will be like, well, we're using AI. Well, yes, but you're using AI how it was used in 2024. We're in 2026. AI now does a lot
I
of
would say
other.
20, yeah, even 2022, 2023. They just use it for Googling things.
Yeah, like even the fact that people still like, when you ask something, and I think AI, what it does, it amplifies how we think. It really shows us that we cannot think clear. Because in order for AI to be successful, you have to specifically tell what it needs to do. Like, you have to tell the role, or what you're trying to like to achieve from it. What is the context of it? What is the task? Any other special notes? And you have to prompt it pretty good in order to get a good answer. It's not going to be trying to put on all the hats and think of, oh, this guy is asking, maybe he wants to he wants to do a vibe coding, let's say.
What's vibe coding?
I'll jump on it in a sec. But like he's trying to jump in and start doing this. But if you're gonna talk to AI, will AI tell you like, oh, sure, I made sure that there is a security layer installed. I made sure that whatever server you're gonna be using, that is done. I'll make sure that all these things like frameworks are on because there is a lot of them, right? You're not asking. It's not gonna be like making itself complex and will tell you, no, I'll throw you everything. So you still have to ask it. And this is where like people don't see like people don't even know how to chat with this. And they don't understand now that it's not even going into chatting, but it's actually going and telling the model to do something. Like
But I
you're
would
not
say people, sorry for interrupting, people still fear AI, right? Overall. And what are the legitimate fears and the fears that are overblown and wouldn't and doesn't make any sense today?
So one thing is I do have a vibe coding noted, so I'll touch on it in a
Yes.
sec. But the fear, I think legit fear is that people will be replaced. That's a fact. And this is
Yeah.
something that unfortunately, I'm not going to go into history and stuff like this. It's a fact, and it's going to happen on a massive scale. But the problem is that people are missing, I think, the biggest elephant in the room, at least from my perspective, is this is where things were going. We think about everything that we can reproduce as a template, right? We can create a template for clothes, and then now we're gonna be, producing the clothes on a mass scale. We're gonna create a template of, I don't know, a virtual server. Now we can fast deploy it. But we didn't realize that we are creating templates of ourselves, where you go into any sort of jobs and your job is heavily scripted of doing specific tasks. And this is what AI is. AI, robotics, people just don't know about robotics. When robotics will come in and it will be very short, people will be blown away because they're like, oh, the safe haven is done. The same thing is here. If you're doing job that's very scripted, that's very step by step, you're going to be replaced. But that's the fact. But this is where the problem is. You should have seen it that your job can be easily automated. AI, not AI. Like there is no creativity. If that is a thing that you have to do to use the judgment to, maybe reach out to a customer and approach it from a different angle depending on let's say there is a complaint and you're reaching out to the customer and there is, you can feel the tone and you can shift right away to something else, maybe not what you actually wanted to do to talk to, but maybe approach it from a different angle. That's one thing. But if your part of the job is there is a phone call, I open up, I'll take a request, I'll open up, I'll get it to my team.
Mm-hmm.
Like the writing was on the wall. So all these and the problem is people don't go in and they like everyone likes to throw in, oh, the industrial revolutions, but yeah, okay, whatever. The plants, look at the plant, supply chain. People are standing doing exactly the same job and they're being, replaced by robotic. You're in the office doing exactly the same job and you're going to be replaced by AI.
Okay, let's say I do have a job of, I don't know, let's say I'm a receptionist in a dental office, right? It's a matter of time when I will be replaced, right? Because I'm pretty much booking calls, booking appointments, doing follow-ups, doing reminders. What should I do? Like, how should I approach? I'm very scared that I will lose my job, hypothetically, right? What would you suggest me to do?
Number one is run into the storm. The storm is coming, you have to run to it. And there is no better way, like, I told you this when I heard this phrase, it's kind of like I was amazed. If there is something happening that you're afraid of, the storm is coming, you have to run into it, because then the actual time of affected by the storm will be shorter, right? So taking that analogy here and saying like, okay, what does the receptionist need to do? You need to learn it fast. Not like, oh, what should I learn different? No, you need to learn that fast. You need to go in on a YouTube, see how receptionist will be replaced, and then pick up again, find the model. ChatGPT is not the only thing that, right? Find the thing and say, hey, I'm a receptionist and I'm afraid of my job. Like I can see it can be easily replaced. What can I do to maintain it? The big thing is you have to learn how to work with AI agent because when the agents are coming in, that's one thing, but how you will be orchestrating it is the different thing,
I
right?
think that's a very good point. Yeah, I just want to add on that because it's not going to happen tomorrow, like literally tomorrow, right? It's moving absolutely with crazy speed, right? That the jobs will be replaced and the economy, the employment, everything will change, right? But we would need people who know how to monitor AIs, how to install AIs, right? How to work around them. Because even for the receptionist in the dental office, right? I know when I'm calling to book appointment for our son, right? Every time I need a human interaction, me working with AI and automation, I wouldn't want to talk to AI agent, right? I wanted to answer the call when I need to reschedule or book an appointment, right? But for the sensitive matter, I need a receptionist there, right? So that's their communication skills. Number one, right? Number two, I think they truly, because every time we talk about, okay, you need to learn AI, people hear that for the last few years. Learn what? Because people think, okay, I know how to use ChatGPT, that's it, right? So I think we need to elaborate on that, how to work with AI, how to feel it. Like you need to use it on a daily basis. Pretty much that was the scenario for me, because Nazar, you were in IT for, as you said, for almost 20 years. Me is a totally different story, right? I understand the business, I understand operations, I understand those nitty gritty things. But when it comes to technology, I was super scared of that. And it only changed after I started using, I would say LLMs, right? I can just say LLMs, large language models. So ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. When I started using it for on a daily basis for my everyday tasks, and I think it's my number one. I want to call it assistant today for my personal life, for my business, right? And I think that's the direction we have to take when we talk to people and tell them that they need to learn AI, how to use AI.
Well, number one is exactly as you said, like you have to learn it. And the first thing is you don't like, I would probably say, like, you know, the whole big thing about AI, right? Intelligence is not scarce anymore. This is where the big thing is that people don't understand, and the ripple effect is happening fast.
Mhm.
Medical, law, finances, management, all these things is because why people thought that to get to those positions will be hard because you have to go through all the hoops and you're going to be staying safe there.
And you
But
have to
though,
learn a lot, right? So let's say they will
exactly,
be secured because they spend years learning stuff that is very hard to learn, right? And now they have that security wall, but they don't anymore because you can't be the smartest in the room anymore with AI in the game.
exactly. That's it. That's done. So when you start looking, and now the big question is, okay, so that this, and again, this is my perspective on it. So everyone takes it with the Himalayan mountain of salt, but the big problem is throw out the window that you have some sort of a stability for years to come. Because another big thing is no one knows what's going to happen. No one knows how it's going to happen. No one knows when things will become stable, and no one knows what that stable will be. That like if someone tries to predict it, whatever, they don't know anything because no one really knows. One new technology comes in. Look what happened. Look what happened with the markets when Anthropic released that. Now they have their plugin for Claude work, co-work, and now ripple effect goes in through all the SaaS companies because now they're not that valuable that people like to say, right? I can do now things much easier for much cheaper than I should do. So what that does, that starts removing the barrier of price and complexity. So, the intelligence becomes pretty readily available for everyone. And now you have to turn on what humans are, creativity. So from that standpoint on, what I would say is it will be happening quite heavy with sorry, I had so many things in my head. What was the initial thing?
Well, we've been talking about how do you need to learn AI, right?
Yes. Sorry, that's exactly where I was going. Just like, yeah. Learning AI. Okay, so just as a perspective, I have a BA in IT that I got. In the university, 4 years you sit and you go through the lectures and stuff like this. You get out, whatever was taught is already pretty much obsolete to the point. It's IT. Then I started handling into things like, certifications and Udemy courses, which again, we're talking like years and years ago. Why? Because it's much faster. You can get a much faster thing, learn it, let's say through a Udemy course that will be 25 hours, whatever, and then head on. Get the certificate. You don't need the 4 years. You get the certificate, proves that you know something. Now we amp up. What you need to do is now basically go in again. Okay, that is ChatGPT, that is Claude from Anthropic, and that is Google Gemini. Those are the three big things that you have to know. Number one, before going into AI, go pick up. There are free ones, but whip out $20 and pick up a paid model. Ask the question, where should I start or who should I look at? It will give you, Gemini has access to YouTube videos. It will suggest you to look at YouTube video. But you have to turn off yourself from a point of, oh, YouTube is entertainment or whatever. No, you have to understand, I watched the video and then I have to do something actionable. So watch what, how to build a custom ChatGPT or a custom gem or how to create a prompt. And then go take that, write your own prompt how you would ask, and then, how you learned, check it, test it, go. And you have to have this feedback loop, but very fast. So don't think about years of education, that's already foolish. Don't even think about months of education, that's foolish. Think about weeks, days. But the thing is, don't look at from a standpoint, I need to learn something because then I'm on a chopping block. That's just a pressure. Learn something that will give you wings. There's no better way of saying it, as it is really wartime to be alive. You know how things are. You build the web pages and you know what recently happened and how you're shipping and deploying web pages faster. Even like it's mind-blowing how before you were building the web pages, first you had to run the code, write the code, test it, find in a million of lines the syntax error, fix it because something's broken. Then you have all these tools like, Framer, like, what's the other one?
Webflow.
Webflow, there you go, that you were dragging and dropping to remove the complexity. Now with the code, you are faster than drag and drop.
No, days. It takes days to do that. That's for me is still mind-blowing. Web apps, like honestly, thank you. You can create anything in days versus me sitting there for weeks and weeks building web pages. It's just annoying. I love web designers, absolutely amazing people, creative people doing amazing jobs. But that job is very detail oriented, a lot of pieces put together. It just doesn't make sense to sit, me as a business owner, right? Sitting there and doing the job, it just doesn't make sense anymore. I need something more efficient, more effective, right? That works in, again, in days.
Yeah, and this is where now, like, let's take this specific example. So just to wrap up, go online, whip out $20, pick up a model that you would like to work on it, and work with it to get started, how you would like to learn. Read some articles, practice, practice, practice. That's all you need to do. Learn how to vet it. Figure out the topic you know and start asking questions. And if it gives you a wrong answer, ask why did it pick that answer when you know that the answer is different. See what it will tell you. Then ask it, how should have I formed a question to get this proper answer? Ask if my answer is actually correct, or maybe I don't know, there were some things that happened. Like, work with it. This is the big thing, it's reps, 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 reps. And there will be no certification, nothing. You're gonna go into a company will ask you, can you do this? Sure. And that, like OpenAI, they don't ask coders anymore. They give you the task and they say, hey, it was taking before months to do it. Can you do it in 20 minutes? Are they unreasonable? No. Because what they're asking for is like asking, do you understand the concepts? Do you have a creativity? And can you voice it out? So that's number one. Number two is like, yeah, web designers. It's unfortunately one of the biggest things that I think we'll see the shift. And I know people will say, yeah, it's a hype. It's just gonna go up. But what if it's not? Again, let's ask from this standpoint. Like, we were chatting about how business owners are moving right now and trying to get a website because they understand, well, I need a website. How can people find me if I don't have a website? But website is dead nowadays.
No, it's not. I'm not going to say it's dead, right? Because it's a topic for a different video
Yeah.
that I have in mind. But I would say website is a front end, right? But before you have build that front end, many people go in with the front end nice face and they think it's going to do everything else. No, it's just for the customer to open the door to your business. But what happens behind that door on the back end? And the back end, I would say, is 99% that I think businesses that I can count on my one hand have. Like, most of the businesses don't have the back end set up. It's like, how are you running the business? And that's the discussion I have with myself on a daily basis. I'll be very honest. How am I running the business? Because am I systems and processes in place, right? Do I know exactly who I'm going after? What am I selling? How I'm gonna fulfill the product, right? How I'm gonna do it? What I'm gonna automate? Where do I need human in the loop? And where's the part that it cannot be touched by the AI automation? Anyways, it's another discussion for a different video. Yeah, I'm getting very ramped up because I have a lot to say about it. One more thing I want to touch, because we have to cut short here because we already ran almost half an hour. Do you want to touch base on security risks and measures just super quickly?
Yeah, so what I want to do is, I know we have to cut, but again, I don't want to leave the loose ends. So what I mean is by website is dead is a simple, beautiful website is dead. Because you have to understand that the website is like opening a door into your digital office, and there have to be your digital employees that will take the customer and will assist him, right? Him or her. Like, meaning there is a digital receptionist that's will be there if the customer wants to chat or call or stuff like this. If they are looking for something, they will be able to easily book the call with you, or maybe you have some sort of system in place that they can maybe give their specific situation and get already some sort of answer, right? If they want to buy something, you have to have something that you will be able to fulfill it, and make the delivery of the product. This is what I'm saying. Nice website that you just did is dead, right? And for web developers, it's unfortunately will be harder to shift, that they now have to be like an AI architects than just the web developers. Where for an AI architect, it's much simpler to become a web developer, because now I don't need to learn the complexity of web development. I need to learn the framework, and then my assistant will build me everything. Where from the other standpoint, you're trying to clinch to what happens, how it was before, and you're not learning a new technology. So that's what I wanted to be like point blank. The websites are very important, but there will be also another video that we're gonna talk about the websites, as you said. The thing is about security. So what I would like to do is I would like to bring up two topics, just to wrap it up. So everyone who is in the AI space or in general in space heard about Claudebot, then it was Meltbot, then it was OpenClaw, whatever, the whole thing. There is a lot of, it's a very hot topic. I think it's actually a hot topic because it shows two polar different problems. It shows the possibilities of what it can be done with vibe coding, going back to vibe coding, that you can create an app or whatever just by using a natural language, which I don't think vibe coding is it will be here for a long time, because you now need to be an AI architect. Yes, you will be talking in natural languages like in English, like you're not going to go anywhere and say, well, I know English. People will say, good for you. But, so the vibe coding as a thing will be gone. I think people need to position themselves as the AI architects, and also I'll touch on about some frameworks in a different video. But now, the other side of that project, what happened was it shows that you can create things, but if you don't know how to build the foundation, you don't know the frameworks of what you need to do to implement it, it becomes just a hot pile of something that will explode. And now you have this a super powerful thing that can be done versus super big disaster that everyone's just raving about, because the security, now they're working on a security. Do you understand that someone that's building something where there is a customer data and stuff like that thinks about security as an afterthought, because they were in a hype that they can create things just through a normal language, and it will build up. This is the thing that we will see big things. CISO, those are like chief security officers in companies. They position up to 80% of the budgets nowadays to make sure that AI cybersecurity risks will be mitigated, because again, you don't know what's implemented, how things are implemented, and stuff like that. But this is one of those things that drives me to a next topic of.
I'm sorry, can I just say, I think for me, it's honestly one of the most boring topics, but it's one of the most important topics nowadays. Because we know how many tools were sold to businesses, right, without even a thought about compliance, about security, and it's a disaster. What's coming next, right? I don't want to scare people. I don't want to talk about that, but I understand in my head. Me working with those tools, I understand there is a huge work that needs to be done to make sure that tool has the security measures in place. If it doesn't, guess what?
Think about this. Super simple. We all have, not too many people are like, the amount of people online that are using password managers, very boring topic, is super small compared to what it's supposed to be. The amount of people that actually use 2FA is much better now. The amount of people that know about passkeys, it's the whole different thing. They don't know about it. So now think of it this way. There was this time where people started recording like banks and stuff. We'll record your voice so it will authenticate you. This is the simplest thing to nowadays crack you. because I can get your video or your call or something like this. I can call you, record your voice, and then generate it. Like
Yeah.
people just don't understand it. I can call you, record it, and generate, and then I can go. Then you connect the tool like this, and you add WhatsApp, text messages, this and that. When lots of people do what? Well, I don't want to have a password manager. I'm just gonna set up a text message to get in. And they will use the same password everywhere. The password's been compromised, and then they compromise the AI agent that is built with all these massive flaws. They know that there will be an SMS coming in, and it will give the code to them, right? So now you're in. So and I know there will be a lot of people saying no, 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 whatever. It's like go read what's happening online. You can't really hide it.
Yeah.
So when you're, and this is what the guardrails are, you have to make sure, because before you give it, you specifically say why you're giving it, what it has to do with it, and then the guardrails. And it actually goes back to the topic. Lots of people will be fired, which is a fact, unfortunately. Kind of sad truth that I don't know. I feel bad for people. You know how I am. I
Mhm.
know you're as well. But the one thing we have to understand is AI moves fast. So let's say if you're overlooking 50 agents or something like that as a one human being, it's hard to track what's happening.
Yeah.
But if you have now, instead of one, you have multiple, so those people, instead of being fired, they were transitioned to learn about AI.
Yes,
And
they were
they
educated on AI. That's a different story, right?
exactly. So now, instead of being replaced, they're actually overlooking things. It's a whole different thing, because AI, you just want to make sure that it runs. Again, the velocity, the momentum, and stuff, like they're not stopping, but you should keep an eye on it. And if you see that this gut feeling like something's odd, you have to have more people. Like you have a speed of an AI, but then you have to have this. Yes, there will be managers of AI, there will be this and that, but it's like, let's see where this arrives. This kind of, it will arrive with its own challenges. But I think people need to learn this, how those agents work, how you can control them or guardrail them. How can you get intervened if something happens, and you will have your positions, not your position saved, you're going to be transferred to a different position that is AI, some sort of manager or stuff, something like that. And people will be like, look at the business owners nowadays.
Can I add one
Yeah.
thing? Because we have to touch point on that. We haven't talked about that for a while. But what do we see right now? Big corporations, right? Okay, we're going to fire this department and we're going to replace it completely with AI agents. Guess what? Half a year later, they're getting calling back their people, right? Because business owners need to understand, and everyone does. We see it across the board. A lot of businesses done that mistake over the last few years, where they think that they're gonna implement AI and automation heavily into their business, and it will run on autopilot. It won't.
Yeah.
And if you have that mentality in your head, right, as a small, medium business owner, you have to understand it right away. It's not a magic pill. It's not gonna, you just pay one time, you hire a team or you hire one person that will implement AI solution, right? Implement automation. It's amazing. It will run, they will test it, but someone needs to monitor that. AI is just a tool.
Yeah, and this is where the big thing comes in. AI is a tool. It's a very smart tool. And I think lots of people, when they say, well, the AI will replace humans, it's a bit of a sad story, because now we can say that human skills will be pretty much irrelevant, which is a bit of a doomsday thing for me. And I don't believe it. But the fact is, like, 2024, 2025, I was trying to understand, how does this go for a business owner? Like, as a business owner, what are you going to do, right? Now we have automation. Do I replace my staff? Do I do this? I probably would say that 2026 came with a clarity where you understand that as a business owner, you have to restructure and you have to think. Because what you have to do is, A, look what competition is doing. do a research, and come from a mindset of what if they're already doing it, implementing AI and automations. B, overlook your staff and say, okay, what is the too repetitive of the work that will have to be automated? Again, if the emails are coming in on a fly and people are accustomed to get the reply within 30 minutes, 40 minutes, like it's just a matter of time that the customized email will be coming out, and it's not going to be like the ticket was open. No, but it will be a customized, hey, John, the ticket was open. Our team will look into it. But in the meantime, can you do this? Because it was vetted against the database of errors that potential or issues that potential customer can have. People are used to it. If you have someone that doesn't do it, and your email is coming like 10 minutes, half an hour, 2 hours later, like I don't know if they want to stick with you, right? So you have, it's not like, oh, I don't want to be replacing. No, you have to automate. But then you look into, can I move that person somehow, adjust it so he or she can do something more? And you have to strategically think about each position. But then the big elephant in the room is you have to start building digital positions, which will be digital agents. And you have to make sure people will collaborate with them. So on one side, people, you don't need to replace people in order to grow. And, it might be scary for you to implement, but on the other side, you already have a crew you're working with, and you're training them, and they will be able to help your business grow because with the tech involved. And this is where I received the clear-cut understanding that it's not the fact of are you going to be replaced, you're not going to be replaced, what's going to happen. It is the fact that if one company does it, the next company will not do it, it will fall off. The third company will see, hey, the second company fell off, I'll implement that, and it's going to be a chain reaction.
Yeah, they won't be able to compete, right? Otherwise, they would have to follow each other, and they would have to follow those routines, I would say. Not the routines, how do you call it? Like the new ways of doing things. They all do that.
But then it comes in with a different challenge. Oh, okay, we did that, but now can I implement digital agents? Can I implement automation? Like, am I as a company even ready for it? Like, lots of people think that you just throw it and it sticks and it figures out on its own. I can bring up countless examples of how it went.
But we talked about, me and you talked about that last year, that most of the businesses, right, they don't even have the basic automations in place. Before we even go into digital agents, right? What about automation? Basic workflows, right? Basic manual dumb work that your staff is doing on a daily basis, right? And spending at least 10 to 20 hours per week, at least. Average business, right, spends at least 10 to 20 hours per week on manual tasks. What about automating those first?
It's even worse than that, because beside the fact that people don't have automations, businesses don't even understand their internal workflows to understand how to automate it.
Yeah, that's a different story. For me, it's a huge pain point, because when I look into businesses, I'm like, oh my God. It's just no one has time actually to sit and do my favorite thing. Just put everything on its place, right? And figure out, okay, this is department number 1, number 2, number 3. I have 2 people here, 2 people here, 3 people here. What we are doing, right? What are our tasks? And anyways, just I'm not going to go into all those details, but pretty much none of the businesses have it.
Yeah, and this is where so with AI implementations, lots of people were jumping. It's hot. People are jumping in. Businesses are becoming nervous. Like, what if I'm not gonna do it and I will be wiped out? The marketing comes into here. The big problem is when this is half-baked introduced. I'm not saying lots of people are doing it. I'm not saying everyone's doing it. There are lots of awesome companies, but lots of are like, I got it, I templatized it, I'll throw it. Then you have like, what's going to happen if you're going to like, if you go, I don't think
I have 2 cups. This one is empty. I have a little bit of water here.
If you're gonna take, let's say, and this is what people don't understand, if you have a sequence, I think it's like 5 or 6 steps. Again, don't quote me on it. Someone can do the math. I just don't want to do it right now. But a sequence of 6 steps in order to get an outcome. If every sequence will be 90% done, 90% accurate, and 10% will be whatever, the end result will not be 90% accurate. It will be 56% accurate, 59, something like that. I think it's 56. You have to understand that 10% off within 6 chain reactions of how you get will drive you almost to 50-50.
Oh my God, how didn't I know about that math?
So this is the big thing
I
that
have to
people
calculate that now.
don't understand. What's going to happen if your customer will be receiving a invoice 95% of the time correct, 95, not even 90, and 5% incorrect. You dealt with the customer for 10 times, let's say 9 times you get the correct invoice. The 10th time you get incorrect, you go 20 times. Now you see the pattern, you go 30 times. Do you think on the 31st time you want to deal with them? Like,
Yeah.
people don't understand. If your chain reaction brings you to 56% of accuracy in your invoicing, how are you going to survive as a business? And we're not talking about automation. We're talking stats, math, basic principles. But now you're going to throw in automation on it or AI agent, and it's just going to fly with this, right? And it's going to be that AI agent is bad. And this is where, like, the last thing is what I would like to say is, unfortunately, with all this new technology and unfortunately with the post-COVID that we have, that the markets were hot with, crypto boom and everything else, nowadays it looks like people are more looking for evaluations and the stock prices and stuff like this rather than actual outcome. And what I mean by that is, like, you have to make sure you have funds coming in, but if you will do it too fast, it will go to the bubble, it will pop, you will run out of funds, you can't bring the technology to life. You have to, if you go too slow, the same thing, you have to figure out how to do it normal progression. When you're not hyping, but you are like, boom, outcome, promise, outcome, promise, outcome, or something like this, and not like promise, hype, 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 hype. And now we have, AI is 90% not capable of. Oh, what about this? What about that? Media also wants to get clicks and stuff like this. But the big problem, it's the same thing as why people are getting replaced, is you don't know your own position, GPS location in this terrain, what's happening. Are you actually, like, slapping a website will not fix it. You have to have, if you have nowadays, before, you know how it is. 2025, 2024, you can add things to automation to a processes, broken processes. Now you have to find if the process is broken, if it's even viable to keep it alive. Most
Yeah.
of the time, it has to be fully redone to have AI in place. And this is unfortunately the thing, is that lots of times business owners will be keeping an eye. They will be like, no, 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 I have to slow down. There is a lot of things on their plate. I'll have to slow down. I'll have to do this and this. I don't want to deal with it right now. Let's move on. And then they will hit a wall, and then they will have to slow down when things will be already ramped up. Like, I think 2026 is really the last year that you can make some sort of positive impact for yourself in a way where you will learn it, and you'll be able to keep your job, even promote yourself or move to some other company. After 2026, AI agents, team of agents or swarm of agents, whatever you want to call it, it will get to such a big point that you won't be able to catch. And before there was this thing is that, if you're not like AI will not replace you, but someone else will come in and sell AI to replace you. But now the different thing is, how things are going in our AI fields circles is it's not going to be you're not going to be replaced by a person that sells AI. You're going to be replaced by a person who knows how to use AI,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And it's
You know what?
not copy paste.
And it's actually leading to my last short question. For someone who's watching, what would be one advice from you who's still on the fence?
One advice for you if you are on a fence. Ooh, wake up. Wake up. I like this phrase about, you can't wake up the person that pretends to be asleep. It's time to wake up. It's not gonna be, it's not pandemic. It's not, unfortunately, it came after pandemic. It's not that you can just close your eyes, wait for it, and it will pass.
Yeah, and just
No,
pretend that it's not here.
you're stopping and you're staying in a location while the new roads are being built and people are going there. And when you will wake up or open your eyes, it's not that the storm passed. You understand that everyone is there now, you're out. And wake up with not the standpoint of like, it's like, it's a chore. Like this, my gripe with education. Love education, hate the system. To the point, too slow, too bureaucratic, too expensive, blah 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 blah. And the worst thing is that it brings an aftertaste to people like, ugh, I need to go like doing again education. Like I don't want to deal with it. Wake up, learn that you can learn things that you never were able to do before. That would like you could have not even believed that you can do it. And tell yourself what a time to be alive. You know how it is with websites. You know how it is. It's you're building them, and how is it much simpler now? You remember like when we went into Cloud Code and stuff like this, and you're like, yeah, let's go. And you're like, oh, it's a terminal, and you're not like rolling your eyes, and you're like, no, you're going in. I'll learn it if I need to because I can do better because it clicked.
No, for me, it's, can I actually use it? Like, I'm not a computer science guy or like any technology guy, right? For me, it's fascinating. But again, it's a topic for a different video. I think we had a great conversation today, guys. For those who are watching, if this got you thinking, if anything clicked here for you, please subscribe. We will be dropping around 2 to 3 videos per week, live discussions, builds. What else, Nazar?
So we want to go in from a frameworks of like, what like around what to build and what type of like you should consider if you're going in. Like again, Clawbot, fantastic AI assistant, but security is the afterthought, the whole thing. So the framework of security. Then the builds or the implementations that we can show, how you go from businesses to personal life. It affects everything. And then having, I guess the weekend coffee discussions here where they are unscripted. Like they were slightly scripted. That we went in some touch points, but we really went off.
Off topic. We're supposed to do 15, 20 minutes, and now we are what, 55 minutes, I guess?
Yeah, 55 minutes, and I have still a lot of work, and I can be rambling and rambling and rambling, but I think it's good stop.
No, our nanny is calling, so we have to stop.
The one thing is what I wanted to do is I wanted to ask you a last question is I know what I would say from a technical standpoint. I kind of taught you a lot into that and brought you in, what would you say to people from a non-technical standpoint that was brought into this, and how do you see it?
See what?
Like this field, and what would you suggest to them?
What would I suggest to them in terms of what? Like how to move forward, how to look at
How to move forward, how to look at it, like what's your standpoint as a non-technical user that were brought into this and like was giving wings to fly?
Yes, that's literally my words. Every time I say AI let me build the business I never thought I could do and I could have. Pretty much my dream business, right? And again, for the person without technical background that can sit and build amazing solutions that you guys are about to see in the next videos, it still blows my mind. So as I said before, start using LLMs, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude on a daily basis. That's your start point. It can give you wings, not only in business. Maybe you are an artist, right? You don't need to use AI in terms of creating your work. You can use it for marketing and everything else, and communication and everything else, right? But for creating a piece of work, you don't need to use it. But for daily life, when you need to do a research, when you need to brainstorm something, when you have a question, I think that's the best tool you can use nowadays. It can save you hours, weeks, months. I'm not even going to talk about it. It literally saves me hours, maybe days of work when I do health research. Again, different topic, different company, right? That we are working on. But I'm still deep down, I'm still fear technology just slightly, just a little bit. But it's not the fear, oh my God, like I'm scared, I'm not going to use it. It's the fear, oh my God, I have no idea what it's going to do tomorrow. And as Nazar always says, like, I'm so excited. I'm excited too. Because tomorrow I think I can create something that I couldn't even think that I can do a year ago. I have so many projects in mind because I know I'm capable of doing them, delivering them in an efficient way. And what I always say, how we can make this world better. And we all have to think in that direction, right? You have to think in that direction, because it's wars, economy, bad markets. It's not going anywhere, right? It's just the beginning. And we all have to contribute. And when you have AI, it's just a small thing that can help you be better and do better.
Fantastic. Yeah. I think it's a good one. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the weekend, and we will wrap up here, and we will see you in the next ones.
See you in the next one.
Peace.
Bye.